Hi, I'm Charlene Shirk, and welcome to Digital Champions, where we speak to some of the most innovative thinkers in the digital space. And joining us from Boulder, Colorado is Ann Boyd with Stoplight. Ann, thank you so much for joining us today on Digital Champions.
Hi, Charlene. Thanks for having me. I'm pleased to be here.
Oh, it is our pleasure. So tell us what you're doing over there at Stoplight.
So we have a collaborative platform for developers to easily design and build APIs, which not everybody knows what that is, but basically they are the connective tissue of digital transformation. So companies that want to digitize their business in any way, shape, or form are going to end up connecting with through APIs, and we help their teams do that faster, easier, and more effectively.
So, like you said, a lot of people don't know what they are, how do you introduce this to folks and explain why it's so integral in order for them to have a more successful business?
Yeah, so that's a really great point, and it's a challenge for us. But basically, it's how computers or devices talk to each other. And as you can imagine, companies, businesses of all sorts, doesn't matter if they're digital native businesses, need to connect with partners, customers, other applications, other businesses. And APIs are the way that happens, the language between those devices or those computers or web services. And as more and more businesses are based in web services and needing that connection, that's the language they need to speak.
And so are they coming to you with a problem? Like, what is the specific problem that they come to you for? Do they say, I need APIs, or my APIs aren't talking to
Yeah.
each other? Like, what are they coming to you? What is the problem? And I bet you sometimes they're not even realizing API is the answer to that problem.
Absolutely. That is very common. I mean, when we're usually part of a digital transformation initiative, so a lot of companies have funding going into this digitization or digitalization initiative, and they soon realize APIs are an integral part because they want to do, often you hear companies talk about integration. They want to be integrated with others. And that's what APIs do. So sometimes it's part of that major initiative. They realize it's a priority. Sometimes they've started the process and they've had maybe one API they've opened on a particular piece of software or a particular product line or something, and it's gone, they've had trouble with it because it wasn't an organized process. And that's really what our software helps them do is plan intentionally around the process and design it. That's really what we focus on is designing so that you, just like you would for building a house, you have a blueprint, right? You don't want to just start building and then all of a sudden realize, wait, the doors aren't the same size, or this plug doesn't work because this plug is different. And so that's what we help people do is have that blueprint in place so that when they have all these openings, they work together.
And Ann, when you're trying to accomplish all of these great things for companies, what is your biggest challenge in the digital space?
Oh gosh. So I think for us, the proliferation of content obviously is a challenge. You know, we solve a very real problem, but often people, as we talked about, don't know it until they stumble into it, and trying to reach people that are very busy and dealing with a ton of information coming at them from all directions. It's really prioritizing and then facilitating that exposure and education, and then the implementation, really building it into a process so that people can really realize benefits over the long haul.
And a lot of marketers are looking at different things in the future, up to 2 years from now or beyond that are changing. One of the constants is digital marketing is always changing. What do you have your eye
Yeah.
on?
I think that overall, it's how do we blend into the experience and bring marketing to where, I mean, people have been talking about that for a while now in terms of being where people are at, whether it's in social media or another kind of media outlet that people are experiencing. But I think it's more than that. It's about the experience of the products and the problems that people are solving, and making sure that we're maximizing that exposure to information that's going to help them. So we're looking at in-app communications, different kinds of ways to make that like facilitation, if you will, of because we're a product-led growth offering, which is a little bit different than where marketing is maybe more or disconnected from the sale. We're very much part of that experience, and I think there's more and more companies that are delving into that.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for making the time to join us today on Digital Champions and sharing all your insight with us today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks so much for having me, Charlene. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it is our pleasure. And if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing over there at Stoplight, you can check them out by going to dailyadbrief.com. Well, I'm Charlene Shirk. That's going to do it for this episode of Digital Champions, and we look forward to learning something new with you next time.